Hello, and welcome to the presentation of competitive gaming by Evan Du and Sven Wang. So, what are competitive games? Competitive games are born different. Unlike the other genre of games, competitive games are usually require high skills and a high proficiency players. According to the definition by Merriam-Webster, competition refers to a contest in which two or more parties strive for superiority or victory. Then competitive video games are the same. They are the games with two more or more teams fighting to achieve victory. And here are some examples of top-rated competitive games. They are League of Legends, Overwatch, and Players Unknown Battleground, etc., etc. Although it is fun to fight against the other players, competitive games bring many debatable values to society. So, what values do competitive games bring to us? Competitive games usually contain the element of violence, since the player's goal is to defeat other players. Therefore, we can say that the competitive games gives the player a misleading concept, which is violent actions towards the other is moral. For example, in the game Players Unknown Battleground, players are encouraged to eliminate everyone else in order to become the last man standing. Furthermore, this value has been magnified through a unique platform of competitive game, esport. The violence in the game cheers the audience up and then rationalize the violent actions in society. Although some people might think that competitive games have no relationship with violence in real life whatsoever. But I believe that messages of the games, which the game is giving to the society, is really harmful. The fact that there are a lot of violence actions from the game players to players in the game is enough to prove my point. And I'm going to explain one of the most common violent behavior, the verbal violence. Have you played any competitive games before? If you have, you definitely have experienced or just watched some players swearing in their voice chat, complaining about his teammates and type outrageous words to everyone. If you haven't played any competitive games before, Overwatch is a perfect example of verbal violence. Since a victory in Overwatch it requires a lot of communications and cooperations in the team, conflicts between players happens almost every minute. If you still think that there's no connection between competitive games and the verbal abuse, don't worry, I have proof. A research was done by Michael J. Rio, which indicates that the level of moral reasoning exhibited was significantly reduced during the play of a competitive game. According to the feminist theory, people must be caring and nurturing to everyone, even strangers, which means, therefore, the violence of any kind is not ethical since it's neither caring nor nurturing. But things get worse. Females are more likely to get verbally abused because there exists a discrimination towards female in competitive games. The gender bias is mainly caused by the gap of numbers of players between male and female. There is a large-scale survey from Robert in 2005, which concluded that there are many more boys than girls play video games. In 2009, Entertainment Software Association also reported that 40% of video games are female. This gap caused a lot of male players to think that they are somehow better than female players, which is not true. Richard Joyner presented a study on gender in competitive games in 2010, which shows that there is no significant difference between boys and girls in the games. Girls are actually more motivated in video games. From the golden rule, since we should treat others as you would have them treat you, discrimination is definitely not moral. All these aspects are from normal players. And to us, the non-professionals, the competitive games provide a place to learn and practice violence, which in my own opinion, not moral at all. Thank you.